Are y'all ready to get into this? Love is Blind, season 9. Joe and Madison. This was a hot mess express, but she should have seen this comment. Let's talk about it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers to my music reviews. All y'all who have been here through the long. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie advice. Sweet old. It's time for auntie advice. It's time for auntie advice. Well, welcome back, everybody. We are here to talk about Love is Blind, Joe and Madison. Madison made all of this up in her mind, if you ask me. You didn't ask me, but I feel like I need to tell you. This guy gave her every sign that he did not like her. Every sign. She didn't pick up on cues. She didn't pick up on anything. Nothing. This man gave so many nonverbal cues. Do you all know that 72% of your communication is through nonverbal clues? You mean to tell me, you know what? She did say she has a problem with seeing in low light. So I'm going to go ahead on and give her a pass because she said that she had this, eye disease. So maybe she couldn't see clearly. But in every way, in every day, he let this girl know, I am not into you. She recently did a interview, and I can't remember with whom, but she was spilling so much tea on him till it was pathetic. She talked about everything from him meeting up with other singles to just him just not being interested to the fake breakup. We knew this was a fake breakup because he came in the house in the morning with some shorts on. But we're going to talk about this show. Madison and Joe began in the pause when Madison revealed that she had a degenerative eye condition and feared blindness. When she told Joe that, he almost passed out. Joe almost passed out. Now, one of the things that Meagan said on the show is that Joe had an acute awareness of the cameras. He was concerned about how he was being filmed. He continued to break the fourth wall. He did the most. Okay? She said he did the most. Joe told her, her mama, her daddy, the mice in the house, that he would be her eyes if she ever needed him. But in private interviews, he admitted that she wasn't his usual type, which is why we saw the emotional distance between them. First of all, nobody who is ready to commit is Joe's type. If you ready to commit, you ain't Joe's type. Let me read a little bit of this out of here. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can get this link to come up. Hold on. This is from the Cosmopolitan. This couple was a mess, but he was telling her. So, in an article published on October 17th in the Cosmopolitan, right? Hold on, let me see if I can get to it. Jesus. All kinds of them came up. Madison revealed in a wait a minute. Madison revealed how the split actually went down during an appearance on the Love to See It podcast. According to her retelling, she and Joe went out following their wedding dress and tux fit. Now, mind you, we all saw him, right? Hold on, where y'all at? Let me find y'all again. Where in the crap is going on? Hold on, y'all. What is going on? Okay, I'm back. Mind you, we all know at the tux fitting, he was like, I can't do this. I got to get out of here. The two of them go out on a date with the other friends and couples, cast members, who let her in, who let her sit, eat, and drink, and did not even tell her that this mofo never got a tux. You talk about some grimy cast members, because by hook or by crook, she'd have known from me by the end of that night. Matter of fact, I wouldn't have let Joe sit there and do no bull crap like this. Who allows this mess to happen? But one thing about people, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I just mean this in a real way. From my experience, people will give him a pass for talking about the girl's weight and all that. He showed to me when he was at the honeymoon. He basically told the camera people, she's not his type. She too big for him. He's used to dating women who are thinner, but yet and still he could have sex with her. Because if she ain't appealing to you, then why even lay with the girl? But men will take that opportunity and don't see nothing wrong with it. And women will give Joe a pass where men will make Joe accountable. Women will look at everything else that Joe did. Oh, he's so this and he's so that. But instead of just saying he had so, he'll get a pass. And I always say that a woman will do something and she'll be, a whore and all this kind of stuff. And the man to get up in the morning and be Mr. Thomas. He'll still be called Mr. While she'll be every dumb, this, even though she was a little slow about things. When the two of them got together and they went to the honeymoon, And he was sitting up at that bar drinking. And she came back to the hotel and he didn't even remember what she had on. He didn't remember anything. Check, please. I need my plane ticket. I need the bellman to give me an Uber back to the airport. This man was so drunk. And a man, he's just meeting her. And you know what he was doing? Drinking away the possibility that he had to sleep with her. It grossed him out so much that he was like, I gotta get inebriated in order to sleep with this girl. Y'all ain't gonna convince me no other way, because when she came back to the hotel room, she said, you didn't even remember what I had on when I had this on when we were making out. He wanted that thought far from his head, so he sat out there and drank every drink, took every shot he could, just at the thought of having to have been with her. He didn't want to be with her. That's how much she grossed him out by having some weight on her. She says right now she is dealing with issues concerning her weight. That's disgusting. But when she took that ring off, when they were having that argument, first of all, I would have known that the honeymoon, he's not serious about this. He's a party boy. Now, would I have attributed that to my size at the time? No, I would have had to see the footage. But just from him drinking like that would have let me know something else is going on for him to get this drunk. Nobody else was that drunk. They were all drinking. But Madison ignored the signs. She's out on the balcony, boohoo crying. She doesn't want him to come out, but then she wants him to come out. She asked him point blank, do you love me? Or you, he like, 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 yeah, we'll go back to the cosmopolitan thing. Let me finish my notes. In Mexico, Joe drank heavily at a dinner, ignored Madison's attempt to comfort him, and accused her of overanalyzing him. The next morning, he apologized, but the trust faltered. Madison told producers he was dismissive and not the man she met in the pods, but yet she stayed with him. Then they get back to Denver. Madison tried to plan their wedding while Joe distanced himself emotionally, physically, mentally, and every other kind of way. And when Madison's mother asked Joe what he loved most about her, he paused before saying, she challenges me. Madison's mother later on said that boy don't know what he want. He sat there and told them to their face that 5 days before his wedding, he called it off. He could not put the invitations in the mail. Madison's mother was like, I hope you don't do that to her. I don't know why these families get on here and they don't say, don't you get married to him. Don't you get married to him. This man is at the fucking mailbox and can't drop the invitations in. He walked away from someone. I said 5 days. He was engaged in a relationship with this girl for 5 years and said he was miserable for 5 years. Ain't no man that I know of got 5 years of patience of being in a relationship that they miserable in. If you know somebody, put their name down in the chat and their phone number, because maybe some other women want to find them. This mofo was a piece of from the beginning and never want nothing but that. And her parents never stopped her and said, girl, the sister, nobody, they would have hated me. On the tux fitting day, Joe panicked and walked out saying, I can't do this. That night he told Madison, you're not it. I am going to say no at the altar. Later, they confirmed this off camera conversation was the real breakup and filmed the night before the televised one. The next day, producers asked for closure and refilmed the scene for continuity. During the breakup, he said that he was going to say no. She was like, who are you? He says, I just felt really confused. She says, so why did you let me go to the wedding dress stuff? Why didn't you talk to me? I think I just couldn't, I had a rough time at the tux fitting because it's just, I think it was the breaking point that it was. It was one of those, and as long as I tried to stay in there as long as I could, but I felt like, I've come to the point where I know. She said, now I'm sitting up here looking crazy, going from trying on a wedding dress, and then you're breaking up with me. She said, I think you still got love for somebody. It's just, you just know, it's just not the right one. She was like, but I don't understand. Like, why? Who gives a why? Who cares about the why at this point? Do y'all care about the why at this point? I'm asking for a friend. Do y'all care about the why? She sat there asking Nikki, I don't, okay, you don't want to get married? Fine. Send me a letter. Put it on a post-it note. I don't give up. Like, it's okay. Let's be done with this. I don't need anything that he would have said to me. Here's why I don't need the why. Not that I'm a cold person. Not that I don't have feelings or anything like that, right? Because I do, y'all. I'm just saying at this point, no matter what you say or what I say, this is a done deal between us. We can talk about the other stuff at the reunion. But right now, I need to get around people who I feel safe with, people who are going to help me come up out of this. I can't do this with you. I don't need to know why. I would have to process all this stuff with myself and not give you the satisfaction of seeing me cry with a broken heart. I'm like, y'all, I just ain't got that shit to do. I just don't. But they want to know why. And especially since they broke up the night before, why would I let Love is Blind play in my face and have me be embarrassed and even more hurt dealing with this bullshit. At some point, no, love is blind. No, no, you're not gonna make me do it. I think it's the same thing that happened with Casey and Patrick. She done already told him, I don't want to be with him, right? You know, for me, he's ugly and I don't want to be in a relationship. I can't get any further with him. But they make her go sit with him and jump up in his arms and do all that old dumb stuff. No, no, I'm not filming anything else. You're not going to make me talk and I'm going to get my paycheck too. For having to be humiliated, because if he has come to this conclusion, here's where I will be with it. If he has come to this conclusion days before we're supposed to be get married, then I already know it's some bull that I'm gonna have to process later on that he done said about me through this whole freaking show. There's going to be some things I'm going to have to deal with, some self-esteem issues and some other stuff that I ain't got this to do. I'm just not doing it. She's not going to get the answer that she wants. Now, hindsight being 2020, she can sit on people's podcasts and stuff and give the answer. He did not give her the why. He never gave it to her. Never. He just made her look desperate and stupid. During the key of a breakup is not the time to be asking a why. And an intelligent woman and man know that. Those are discussions that you have when you are both mentally ready to have them. A why doesn't make a difference right now. This man she saw has never been able to communicate with her on her level at all, which is why she took the ring off the first time. What are you saying? He was expressing you're right, he was expressing it, his apprehension, but he didn't know how to articulate it, because at the same time he sat there and kept saying, I love you, I want to be in this. See, that's the thing about it, is why keep going on? Why keep going on? When she took that ring off, she should have kept that ring off. She said, you just got me looking crazy going out here trying on wedding dresses and then you're breaking up with me. I think you still got love for somebody. So I just want to understand why. Like, what is missing? Now you're going into, I'm judging myself. He said, I don't have any answers. Case closed, next case. Let's get our and go. Because if he doesn't have any answers, I'm not going to sit here and continue to ask you for something you don't have. After he sits there, and again, I keep saying people do not listen. After he sits there and says, I don't have any answers, you know what she turned around and said? You don't have any reasons? Bitch, I just told you I don't have no answers. Which means that this is not going to be two intelligent people having an open dialogue, which is why you walk away. He says it's just not right. It's not right. I could feel. I just want to know why, what's wrong. So he didn't already said, I don't have any reasons. I just know it's not right. She said, you're not giving me any clarity. He just told you he ain't had no reason. He just don't want to tell you that you fat to him. She said, so like if it's not me, who and why? Why do you give up? He said, it's not us. Then she goes on. This is where you can tell low self-esteem is just in the room. What is it about me that isn't working? The month that just said, before you ask these last 5 questions, I don't have a reason. And I know some people ready to cuss me out. I know some people will probably say, Auntie, you don't have no compassion. No, I got compassion. Fucking listen. Listen to what a person is saying. It didn't make a difference if he told her it went down a whole Santa Claus list. She wasn't going to hear it because now she's into judging herself. Instead of saying, you going to see the beam footage. You already know who this man is. You go out to dinner and the singles are there, and somebody named Casey or whoever was all up in his grill. He wasn't ready to tell her what the answer was. I don't care. She didn't ask 5 different ways why. Even if he gave her the why, would she believe it? She's not in the position in the headspace to believe it, which is why some conversations you just step away from him and be like, all right, then, let's just pack our bags. Sometimes you got to pull that grit. You got to pull that about your belly and walk away from what you normally do. Walk away from how you feel at that moment and get your grown woman on and say, okay, okay, you're not interested, okay. Because that gives you time to process yourself, maintain your dignity, and don't turn this in on yourself. Now she's saying that she got eating disorders. Over a month that was there acting. He's a clown. This she said, he says, I don't know. It's not like anything I can pinpoint. She said, it's interesting to me that this is on the heels of us running into all the singles. It's just pretty embarrassing for me. He said, it shouldn't be. She says, is there anybody else that you would like to explore things with, like in the singles? He said, no. Girl, leave this alone. You should have been up out the jail. She said, so you're okay with the idea with me anymore? You're ending this because it's like for me, the thoughts thinking about you, somebody else a year from now, like makes me feel sick. Then she talks about being touched. They talk about touching, all that. And then she goes, and we're never going to cuddle anymore. We're never going to do any of this stuff anymore ever again together. So it sucks. I love those things about us. And then that feeling again. But what is it? He's like, I'm sorry. Do you think that we just have to, if we had met in the real world, we would have been able to date? Do you think that that would have worked? He said, hell no. I would have never got this far with your fat, excuse my language, but that's where he was with it. He said the only reason why we lasted this long is because I didn't see you and we on a damn television show. And I faked it until I couldn't make it no more. But if I had met you out in the park, I would have never walked up to you. I would have never brought you a drink. I wouldn't have did nothing with you. I wouldn't know. We know this the best you gonna get is what we got in here. It grossed me out every time I had to be with you because you wasn't my type no way. She said, but I just, in spite of what you're saying, in spite of what you're saying and what you're not saying, I think you just scared of being committed in marriage. Despite everything, I'm going to come up with my own assumption that you really do love me, but you scared of getting married. Where you suspect just a few seconds ago that it was one of the singles. Like, what the? Shut it down. Shut the conversation down. Because I just really feel like, you just freaked out about the marriage part, like the timeline or whatever. He said it's not the timeline, it's your waistline. It ain't the timeline, it's your waistline, boo. And I'm a thick girl, so I know how these guys go. That's why you gotta be confident in yourself, whether you skinny, fat, or in between. You gotta make health decisions and life choices for yourself. And not dependent on whether or not you're going to attract or not attract somebody, or whether or not they're going to be turned off because he was turned off by her. That's why he got tore up and from the floor up. I feel like we probably would have made it a lot further if this, if we had been. He was like, He said we never would have because I would have never got this deep with you. But you can't tell me the problem. No, you can't. You ain't ready to hear it. He was like, yeah, I mean, it's just all right. I'm sorry. I hope you know that I really feel heartbroken. And you don't even care. You don't care. Like, my heart is just, and I'm heartbroken. And you're just sitting there. He said, I don't think we should keep dragging this on. I couldn't have agreed with him more. This went on too long. She said, I feel like I'm dying inside right now. And you've completely broken my heart. I'm sorry. It's not what I wanted. Okay, well, I guess I'll take these off. Okay. But if you cared, you would hug me. Young, he been faking hugging you the whole time. He was like, I feel so relieved because I would have been miserable with her. He said he would have been miserable with her, which is what he said about the other girl. He just don't want to be married. Thank you so much, Kevin, for the 199 super chat. Admin says to her to his room. He don't. We're going to be talking about them next. I got to the point where I couldn't feel sorry for her anymore. I have a whole bunch of stuff that this girl said, and I'm so frustrated. I can't even read it. I took thorough notes of this whole entire conversation, and I can't even read it because this is stupid. He doesn't like you. Let me tell you something that I have learned over my years, and it has helped me to deal with crushes that I may have had with people. I may have been maybe infatuated with the idea of being with people. Not like I've never wanted something more than what I've had. But I'm so glad that I learned this very early on. If a man loves you and cares about you and is interested in you, there is no mountain that he won't climb to get to you. There is no river that he won't swim through to get to you. If a man makes himself unavailable, he is unavailable to you. He will never love you with the same love and compassion that you will desire. He will never match your energy because when a man loves a woman, he loves a woman with every thing in him. He will think about you from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same. He will do whatever it takes to please you and to be with you. Period. If he doesn't make time to date you, he don't with you. Y'all, I'm telling you, it is sure enough the truth. If I think that a man is interested in me, I gauge his conduct. And I listen to what he says and what he doesn't say. And it might hurt your pride, but it won't break your heart. It won't break your heart. Just your pride. Learn how to walk away and listen. None of these women, and I'm talking about none of them, listened. And again, I can tell you that I love you all day. Being in love with you is a total different thing. It means he is climbing mountains and you are too, just to get together and be together. If he's willing to swim that ocean, God damn it, you are too. Sometimes we see and we hear things that just ain't there. And you got to gauge it by his action. I should not have to ask you to text me. I should not have to ask you to bring me flowers. I should not have to ask you to treat me like a woman. Because if you want me and you love me, you going to do it to get my heart. She didn't pay attention to the signs. The moment that Marcus saw her, you could see he wanted into her. And it's amazing because we are all standing on the outside looking in and we can gauge it. But most people who are on the inside can't gauge it. But I'm going to tell you right now, when I would have went to that honeymoon with him and he would have been laying in that bed all drunk up like that, I would have been getting my next flight out. And my friends have often said, "You so cold." I just ain't going to play with you and I don't want you to play with me. And I'm willing to let go because I don't want my heart broken. I'll deal with my ego some other time. I'll deal with my expectations. I'll take accountability for my actions. But what we not going to do is make something out of something that is not there. And I ain't going to make you love me because you can't. Anyway, like I said, I can't read the rest of it because she just irritated me so bad. Um, I guess I'll try my best to get out here and talk about her interview because it was a good interview and she's, seems to have, she seems that she's woke, right? But I think that, this was to her demise, right? Temporarily. And I think that it causes you to be bitter. And that's why you got to be realistic about it. And I'm going to say it for the last time and then I'm going to get the fuck up out of here so we can talk about KB and admin. Love yourself first. Know who you are before you expect someone else to love you and know who you are. Love y'all.